So as a full-time freelancer, most of my job is pretty easy. I mean, I enjoy what I do. I love it. It's a whole lot of fun. But there are a few things that pretty much drive me nuts. One being finding music for those video projects. If you're like me, you probably spent way too long looking for the perfect song. Another one that really absolutely drives me nuts is forgetting to charge my batteries. It's something that's so simple, but yet I can't figure out how to remember to always make sure my batteries are charged. And I think the third thing that drives me absolutely up the wall is when I have clients that want to look over my shoulder at every single shot. Well, I can't solve the first or second problem for you yet, but with these guys here, I can solve that third one. These are the Mars 30 from Hollyland wireless transmitters, and these just might get your clients off your back. Let's run it. What's good, creative fam? Brandon Washington here. And first of all, if you're brand new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button because this channel is all about filmmaking gear, tips, and tutorials. But in today's video, we are taking a look at the Mars 30 wireless transmitters from Hollyland that uses HDMI in order to get a wireless feed from your camera to an external monitor. Now, when it comes to wireless transmitters, they are typically very expensive. I personally have had my eye on the Teradek system for a long time, and especially now that Small HD has now integrated the Teradek system into their monitors, but that system is still super expensive. The thing I like about these Hollyland Mars 300s, have I been saying 30s? They're 300s. Mars 300s. The thing that I like about these Mars 300s is the fact that they work very well and for a fraction of the price that you'd pay for some of these more high-end models. Now, if you take a look for these things on Amazon, you'll see that they run about $500 for the pair. And for a wireless system, that's actually very well priced. Now, inside the box, you're gonna get two of these. One of these is your transmitter and the other one is your receiver. The setup of these is actually quite simple. First, you need to actually attach a battery to the back of these. Now, these will use the traditional Sony LP batteries, the same ones that basically go in all monitors. So if you've been doing filmmaking for a while, you probably have a handful of these just kind of thrown in a bag somewhere. So these will attach directly to these guys, and then they just need the HDMI cable you need for your camera and for your monitor. That's pretty much it. You turn them on, you hit a little pair button that's on the side of them, and that's really all that goes into it. It's actually very, very simple to set these things up, and they work very well. Now, as great as these things are, they have gone kind of a step forward to make sure that they're gonna work with whatever system or setup that you're trying to use. For example, you'll notice that on the bottom of these things, that like, for example, on this one, I have a nice little cold shoe adapter, so that way I can actually attach it directly to my camera. And then on this one here, it already has a quarter thread on the bottom of it. So if you want to be able to use that on pretty much any cage system, whether you're going with a professional director's monitor or you just want to attach it to the top of your camera, you can absolutely do that with this guy. And it's got threads all over it. So all of these pieces are actually movable. So if you want them to be sitting straight up or sitting on their side, you can use them however you want. Now, something that I really did like about this guy here, the transmitter, is the fact that it actually has an HDMI Loop Out. So what that means is typically when you're using something like this, you are going to have to plug this directly into your camera's HDMI port. Well, when you do that, now you technically can't use a monitor with your camera, but with this HDMI Loop Out port, this will allow you to actually send that same HDMI feed directly into a camera monitor. So if you're using a setup that has a camera with a monitor and you wanna add this into the mix, all you're gonna need is an additional HDMI cable and you're good to go. So you can still use that external monitor on camera and still be able to send a wireless feed to another monitor, whether that is an actual monitor or television, it really doesn't matter. As long as it has HDMI, you can do that. Now, I know typically when you guys see products being reviewed on YouTube, probably one of the first things that come to your mind is, I bet you they paid them to say all these good things. And I'll be honest with you, Hollyland did give me these actually a couple months ago, so this video is well overdue, but they did not give me any money, so that means I can say exactly what I think about these things. If you are a budget filmmaker, I think these things are great. I think if you are looking to kind of get your client off your back and you're looking to actually use these things on a real production, they will work. However, they are not perfect. For example, there is a slight delay when using these things. That's one thing that, the Teradek system really rants and raves about, is that there's little to no latency between them. And with this system, you will notice a latency. For me, it's not that bad, especially because the whole point of this is really just to be able to give my clients something to look at away from the camera, so that way they can be, as far as these things claim, up to 300 feet line of sight away from the camera, and they'll still be able to see what I'm capturing. But for me, that slight delay doesn't necessarily matter because I'm not using them to pull focus. Now, with that said, if you are planning on picking these up to pull focus, I strongly recommend against that. The latency on these things makes it very difficult to pull focus. Because you're seeing that slight delay, you may rack focus, and then because it's kind of coming, half a millisecond later, well, you're dealing with, missing focus. And so this is definitely not a solution I would go with for wirelessly pulling focus. But if you are just using them to be able to have like that external monitor for your clients, this works out great. Now, trust me, as someone who does client work full time, who does this video production, I know you might be thinking to yourself, $500 for a wireless feed, is it really worth it? And I'll tell you this, when you bring these things on set, the client experience is drastically different. I mean, one, your client is extremely happy that they have their own monitor that they can look at, and they can actually see what you're creating while you're creating it. The other thing is that having a wireless setup like this allows your client to even help you in certain elements. For example, if there are things in the background of the shot that you didn't necessarily want to be in the shot or can't be in the shot for legal reasons, having someone else's eye on the shot is really, really helpful. And it also pulls them further away from the camera, further away from you, which allows you to just be creative and create what you need. And so if you find yourself ever shooting any really big projects, especially if you're charging lots of money for those projects and your clients want to be able to kind of see what you're capturing or make sure that their vision is also being captured on the day of shooting, having a wireless system like this is super, super helpful. And for the price, you really can't go with anything better. Now, if you guys know of something better, definitely let me know. I'd love to check it out. So leave those down in the comments below. But definitely check these guys out. If you're interested, I'll have links to their official website as well as the Amazon link to these down below. But all in all, these are really good transmitters. As I said, there were a couple issues that I ran into with them, but I don't think that really takes away from how good these things are. But let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.